Everybody moving to the western suburbs thinks Naperville is the answer. But what if I told you there are three towns that might actually fit you better? And no, I don't mean just because of the price. Today, we're talking three alternatives to Naperville. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Dave Greathouse, realtor with Real Broker and Real of Ohio. I'm licensed in both Illinois and in Ohio. And today we're talking alternatives to Naperville. And listen, Naperville is amazing, but it's not one size fits all. And so today I'm breaking down three alternatives to Naperville depending on your lifestyle. And each one wins in its own different way. So by the end, hopefully you're going to know which one best fits your style. So number one we're going to talk about is Downers Grove. And Downers Grove is just to the east of Naperville. And the biggest thing about Downers Grove, and I would say the best pro about living there, is if you ever have to commute to the city, this is a commuter's dream. There are a couple of train stations right near the city of Downers Grove that lead directly into the city of Chicago. So if you have to commute for work, even a couple of days, this is going to be a tremendous option for you. It's also very, very close to the highways. You know, Interstate 88 and 355 are very nearby. So even if you have to drive, it's a lot closer to get to those highways than in some other areas. So it's one of the best options in the burbs as far as commuting to the city. So if you're moving from the city, this might be an easy transition for you if you have to get back into town. It's a very, very walkable downtown, Downers Grove. There's some really cool restaurants, not as big as some communities like Naperville, obviously, but it's very charming. I mean, there's a couple of really good restaurants, an awesome Irish bar that I go to that I think is tremendous. And so it's very walkable. And you also have some really good coffee shops too, if you're into that. The housing here is pretty a pretty good mix, right? You've got some really classic homes, and some newer construction. And there's also some townhouses in the downtown area, obviously popular with some of those commuters into the city. Very highly rated schools. You know, they don't get nearly as much pub as, say, the Naperville schools do, but they're still very, very highly rated in terms of school districts in Chicago. So, you know, if you're somebody that kind of wants a cool downtown, good school districts, but really have to commute to the city, I would definitely have Downers Grove on my list. The second one we're going to talk about is Wheaton. And Wheaton is definitely more of a suburban vibe, man. Like, it's a little bit slower pace. There's a little bit more land. It's a little bit less commercial than Naperville and some of the other cities on this list. And it just gives off that charming suburban feel without really without losing any kind of value. So, like I said, less commercial development, less hassle, and honestly, less traffic. And I think a lot of people really like Wheaton as a result of that. Schools here are also very highly rated. Again, not as nearly high rated as Naperville, but they still get tremendously high marks from most companies or most independent studies that do that stuff. So a lot more character, if you will. The downtown of Wheaton, I think, is super charming throughout the year, and mostly in the summer, though, they have some fantastic events downtown Wheaton. And I mean, I've been to some fairs, some festivals. They have a series of outdoor concerts at an amphitheater that they have downtown. And they have probably the best farmers market in the entire Chicagoland area that I've been to. It's a tremendous farmers market right downtown near the train terminal. So don't sleep on that either. So if you're looking for maybe like a more quiet suburb, but you don't want to sacrifice a lot of the other things, I think Wheaton is a good option for you. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite places to visit. I was just there on Saturday. It was a beautiful day, and that's St. Charles. Now, St. Charles feels like you kind of get away from it a little bit, right? It feels like it's not really close to Chicago. It's a little bit further away from Naperville. It's a little bit west and north from Naperville, and it's a little bit further away from some of the highways. So commuting, if commuting is high on your list, St. Charles might not be so high on your list, right? Because it is a little bit harder, even though they do have a train that runs from St. Charles to the city. But it's a phenomenal suburb. I mean, it's one of my favorite places to visit. Where I live, it's about a 20-minute drive, but it's well worth it to see the downtown when it's bustling. The big thing here is Fox River runs right through downtown St. Charles, and it's the perfect backdrop for all of the bars, all of the restaurants, the coffee shops. There's a really cool scene downtown St. Charles. You almost feel like you're in a different area when you visit there downtown. I don't know what it is. It's just a different vibe than you get in, downtown Naperville or Wheaton or Downers Grove. And again, the river provides an amazing backdrop, and it's so many events in the summer on the river and around the river. I think really showcases that area very well. As far as houses go, I mean, you're looking at pretty similar layouts and price points, I think, as Naperville, but you might get a little bit more land. And again, the real sacrifice here with St. Charles is the commute. So if you're not somebody that has to commute to the city or needs to be on the train that often, St. Charles is a really wonderful place to live. All right, so there you have it, guys. There's 3 suburbs, alternatives, if you will, to Naperville that I am really high on, that I think you should consider if any of those sound good to you. If you're considering a move to Naperville or the area, obviously reach out. I'm going to put all of my information in the description box below. We can have a chat about which suburb might make the most sense for you based on your needs. And hopefully you got some value from this video. If so, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And again, all of my information will be in the description box below. Let me also know which one of these surprised you the most. But don't forget to reach out when you are ready to buy or sell your great house.